understand that obviously each of us have an opinion. Okay. And it's fine to hold an opinion. And it's also completely understandable for others to have an opinion of what should or shouldn't be done in trading, because all of us are going to walk differently in this industry. You're all going to have different objectives. You're going to have different results. Some of you are going to do exceedingly well, and some of you are still going to fail. And that's just the reality of this industry, because it's very difficult to overcome yourself and emotions and greed and fear of missing out, or trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with the influencers on social media. That, unfortunately, is a pitfall. The idea of having a trading goal, a percentage return that you're aiming for, I believe it is advantageous, and I'll go over the reasons why I do believe it's advantageous, and I'll try to slice and dice the opinions of others that I've seen on social media over the years, and also read in books and saw articles and people commenting, and you see them on CNBC. Oh, I don't believe we should have trading goals, because the first thing that comes out of their mouth, and I want you to write this down, that you must have a target to aim for, or you'll hit nothing. And nothing in this industry is failure. It's worse and beneath break even. So coming right out the gate, I'm just going to say that the folks that say you should not have a goal or aim for a percentage each month, number one, let me put this right out there, they don't know how to trade consistently profitable, and they're not shooting with a high accuracy rate. That's the only reason why anyone would have that opinion. Anyone. These are the lessons that help ground you. But I'm also going to spice it up a little bit, so that way you want to do exceptionally well. You want to win competitions. You want to win friends and influence neighbors. This is the discussion for it. But write in your journal, underneath that, you have to have a goal, that anyone that has stated that you should not have a percentage return goal each month, they are misinformed or inadequate. So should you be listening to those individuals? No. Now, I'm not going to sit here this evening and try to butter you all up and talk about how you can be doing 200 R multiple trades, risking 2%. Because if anyone could do that consistently, they would put themselves on the billionaire list rather quickly. Okay. And you don't need to do a whole lot to do very well, but you need to do the one thing consistently. That means your model. I wanted to make $1,000 a month. That was my goal. Okay. So on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. in 1992, I concocted this idea that I would aim for a way of making $1,000 per month that could be saved and put aside. And by the time I was 40 years old, I would not need to work. Now, contrast that with what you see on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, IML. Everybody wants to be a Lambo owner. Everybody wants to be, in a $2 million house now. Everybody wants to, be the best of everything that materialism can pay for. And while that's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that per se, I don't believe that young folks or older folks should look at that and say, yeah, that's why I want to get into trading. Because that, number one, that image, you have to continuously work towards maintaining it, because once you do it, once you start it, you have to keep doing something more or you grow stale. I believe that if you are paying attention as to what I'm showing you, and I see, I guess it's a guy. I don't know if it's a guy. I'm afraid to even say that anymore. I might get canceled. But one of the subscribers and followers on my Twitter feed today was like, we want to see the truth, ICT. We want to see you calling the markets. Well, I have been. I've been doing it, consistently. I'm pointing it out in your chart, on your chart live. And why am I doing that? Number one, I'm keeping myself engaged so that way when we do live streams, I'm not rusty. Because like anything, it's a skill set. You have to be in sync with the marketplace. A shooting range participant, someone that has a firearm, if you don't shoot your firearm regularly, you won't maintain that high accuracy. It's a skill that has to be continuously honed or you'll lose it. Driving skills, racers drive, these fast cars. They have to be continuously working in their machine or they'll lose their rhythm, they'll lose their edge. And you don't want to lose that in the markets because it takes a couple of weeks sometimes if you're brand new to get in sync. For me, it takes about a couple of days, but right now we're in some really weird market conditions. So I'm showing you, and trust me, we're still on the same topic here, but I want to make sure you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing on Twitter. I'm showing you small little snippets in price action, not 200R multiple trades, not 50R, not 20R, but you've seen several 10, 8, 5, and you've seen 1-to-1. All of them are rooted on the things that I've taught either in my YouTube content or the mentorship model that I shared last year. Because if you can't adopt that skill, you become a one-trick pony. Now, that's not terribly awful when it comes to being a specialist, doing one thing, trading the S&P over NASDAQ or Dow or Russell. You want to pick one market that you want to warm up to, start a long-term relationship with, okay? And young men, this is one of those discussions I revert back to, how are you doing in your personal relationships with your significant other? If you're not monogamous, that characteristic is going to find its way into your trading, and you're going to look constantly at what's this market that this person's making money in. Let me stop what I'm doing in this one and start following that market. And that, unfortunately, causes people to jump around all the time. And it's worse than system hopping because you're all chasing the better market right now. And excluding, obviously, crypto, because I don't think crypto is my forte, and I'm going to just leave that one alone because you know my opinion about it. But Forex, for a long time, you all watched me teach and operate and engage in the foreign exchange market. And I've made public last year why I have moved away from that and returned back to my roots in futures. So while there are movements in the FX market, and there will be movements, don't think that it's going to be just like it was today, stagnant. Okay, Euro looks like it was, asleep. You can see small little microstructure setups in that, but I don't think that a new student should gravitate to those lessons. And me as an educator, as a mentor, it's not advantageous for you to learn how to do that. Now, for someone like a charter member that's been with me since 2016, I believe that they can go into the euro dollar today in January 10th, 2023, and down into a 1-minute chart and maybe a 30-second chart. They can find micro market structure in there and trade the same thing that's shown on that 2022 model, but be forced to be very nimble with it. 5 pips, 7 pips, and then get out, you're done. But to me, I don't believe that's something that you should be trying to do as a new trader. So what I'm doing is I'm taking you on Twitter and I'm prompting you to look at specific things in the marketplace. Whether you're able to see it live or not, you can go back and see they are absolutely right before it happens. And I'm taking your attention to the very candles that make the most sense as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I am calling the market. I'm telling you where it's going to go beforehand. That's where my focus. And then I'm showing you how I engaged in it. So when we do our live streams, I'm going to be talking about how the market moves from one place to the next. And most of you that are looking for signals are going to be very frustrated, but I want you to stop and listen to me right now. If you cheat yourself out of this experience, you will not know how to go forward with whatever I've taught on my YouTube channel. And I mean that sincerely. I'm giving you this opportunity so that way you can disarm yourself about having to be profitable right away, because that's unrealistic. If we were all in an auditorium, okay, we were in a big location, and I said, okay, who here, this is your first year learning how to trade? I guarantee you there'd be more people raising their hand up than not, because word of mouth is spreading. All these folks that are wasting their money in IML and things like that, they're all talking about me now. They're saying, hey, look, there's a guy on YouTube, and this is where they're learning it from, and they're trying to teach it. And that's great. Keep doing it. The reason why this is important is because it will help you identify what you're trying to do as a trader, because you have to have a multiplier. If you want a multiple of 3 to 1, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's rather easy to do. But don't negate or scoff at a setup that would be 1 to 1, because I'm going to tell you something. I can find 15 to 20 1 to 1 setups every single day. Now, how many do you need to do well? 1. And if you made 1 and you stop for the week, isn't that profitable? Yes, absolutely. So when you listen to folks, and I've seen so many people over the internet, on YouTube, mostly YouTube, because it's a platform that people like to get on there. They'll talk and they like to hear themselves talk. And I don't like to hear myself talk, but I want to make sure you understand there's a different way to do this. And when I hear folks put on their authority hat and they share their MyFX books and they talk down to everyone else like they're doing something that no one else can do, those returns that they show, they're rather, well, wanting. And when you see individuals talk from that soapbox and they try to tell you you shouldn't have goals, isn't it pretty obvious that they live by that because their returns are lackluster? And they have like this heart attack type, if they have anything going up in an equity curve, it looks jagged, like a roller coaster you wouldn't want to ride. Or it's just drifting down and draw down, and they haven't connected it for a month or so. And then when they turn it back on, they're in drawdown. So these individuals, they're going to tell you, don't have goals. Don't do these things. A trader shouldn't have PIP goals a week. Traders shouldn't have a percentage return goal per month, because here's the thing, and this is what you want to write in your book too. In your journal, you're going to write, they will say that the market can't be timed, and you can never know what the market's going to offer you. And put quotations around that. And right next to that, I want you to write, this is a lie, and then highlight and underline that. Now, I have had 3 decades of time looking at things that were a complete waste of my time and money and attention. And in the beginning, my first 3 or 4 years was just misinformation. I was overloaded with misinformation. And if you're a casual listener, or you're just starting to dabble in price action and you want to learn how to trade, looking at all my information on that YouTube channel, it could be rather intimidating. And if you're new and you're trying to figure out what it is that you should be focusing on right now, I think personally, if you're brand new, absolutely first time coming to the channel, just look at the 41 videos that I did last year in the 2022 mentorship. And when you go into 2024, you will have exactly what you're looking for. You'll know exactly what you're doing. Because this right now, for many of you, is year 1. Year 1. Year 1, 95% of the time is not a profitable year for any of us when we first start trading. It wasn't for me. It was not for me. 1992 was my first year, and I started literally 6 weeks away from the end of the year. Exactly when I don't want to trade now. See the difference? Because I felt like I had to do it real quick. And I had no idea what I was doing. And then in 1993, I had a flash of luck and then crashed and burned. So year 2, not profitable. So it's normal for you, and let me remind you all, it is absolutely normal for you to be learning and engaging in deep study, exercises, back testing, forward testing, tape reading. I'm literally going to take you through the real process that I've always taught in private mentorship that 90% of my students just simply didn't want to do. So you're going to have no excuse this year. You're going to know what it looks like to back test, how to journal, how to look at the end of the week, how to look for setups, how to go back and find your model. All those things I'm literally going to walk through like a student would be expected of me. I'm going to do it with you. So that way you can see exactly what it is that you should have been chewing on every single day and every single week, every single month, every quarter. And then by the end of the year, now you have something to work with. Then you make a decision. How do you want to trade? What setup are you going to focus on? All of those ideas that you all see repeated tweets and questions in my comment sections of my videos. How do I do this? And what should I do about that? You're going to see that many of those questions are personal. You have to come to those conclusions independent and uniquely on your own. You can't have input from someone else. Just like the topic of this discussion, monthly goals, when they'll tell you you shouldn't have that. If someone tells you they don't believe that a trader should have monthly goals, I guarantee you, if you looked at their P&L and their month-to-month stats, they're not consistent. They're not consistent. So what is the multiplier? Choice of multiple setups when it comes to ICT concepts. So when you're looking at the marketplace, I don't try to take any of you or all of you collectively and like silly putty press you all into the same mold, because it doesn't work that way. And I felt that was likely to be the best way for me to become a trader when I tried to be like a Ken Roberts and I couldn't make it work. And then when I tried to be a Larry Williams and I couldn't make that work. And I tried to be a Jake Bernstein, seasonal tendencies only, no technicals. Just look at, okay, this is the day it should do this. And then I lost money doing that too. And I did Elliott Wave, lost money. I did Gann, lost money. I used Hurst stuff. That's a different discussion. Dow theory. Simple patterns and harmonic patterns. I've done all that stuff. Heikin-Ashi, Renko bars, point and figure. I've done all of it. Every single thing out there, I've done it. Volume profile, yeah. All of those things, if they help you, when I talk about how I don't like them, and if it's useful for you, it matters not what my opinion is. But I have to be honest when I'm asked what is my opinion about them, they're gimmicks. They're reasons for something. They're the catalyst for you making a decision and you placing a bet, just like anyone else going to a roulette table and saying, yep, what's my son's birthday? Okay, I'm going to play that number on the roulette. And my favorite color is red. So that's what they come to. That's their system. That's their gimmick. That's their thing that makes them do what? Make a decision. But then they have to decide how much money they're going to bet. They're going to keep betting that over and over and over again until they blow all their money. So it matters not really what you're doing to get into the marketplace, because you can make money if you're a good money manager. You can make anything, a coin flip, that can be utilized as a catalyst. But if you can't let your winner run and cut short your losing positions, it matters not what you're using. So what's the advantage of my stuff? My stuff is very precise. So if you add in the fact that it's aligned with the market algorithm, times when the market's likely to do certain things, you have to know when your son's birthday and your favorite color isn't likely to come up on the roulette table. If it comes up right on your next spin, What's the chances of it happening again? Right after that? Next to zero. So you have to know when not to do something. And unfortunately, a lot of these folks out there pretending and masquerading as mentors and teachers, they haven't even been in the game long enough to know what it's like to be in a market that is not tradable. Everything's going to the moon. Everything's on fire. This market's lit. It's gonna run and blow the top off, or it's gonna melt completely down. Everything's an extreme. And I get that. That's how you can tell their length of time in trading, because everything is an emotional experience. It's all hyped up. And that's why a lot of the folks that are in that's a cult. They don't like someone like me because I'm fuddy-duddy. I'm monotone. Unless I go ratchet ICT on a Twitter space, there's really nothing that gets all that animated. But you want to be just like this with your money. Like, do you want to be nuts and just insane with all your betting and putting money at risk on emotionalism and hyped up decision making? No. But you listen to these people and they'll tell you that they're trying to flip their account 100% every single month. And while I do believe that's possible, is it possible for you as a new startup? You just started learning about this stuff. Do you think it's realistic for you to have even considering at all that being a goal for right now? Because if you think that's a goal for you, you won't be here long. No matter what I teach you, you won't be here long, because you're going to bring in unrealistic expectations and you're going to wreck yourself. I didn't come into this industry wanting to do that, but I grew into it by buying books and listening to courses and buying authors of so-and-so's courses saying this and so-and-so's courses doing that. And later find out that, they themselves couldn't do it. So what does that tell you? You came to me and people like me because you want to have the experience that we have or pretend to have. Now, clearly, I think I'm showing you that I can see these things before they happen. You're experiencing it. Just look at the tweets and look at the people's reactions. When you're looking at the chart and it's happening. And I know you're sitting there smirking. Right now, the corners of your mouth is turning up, that small little tug of a smile and smirk, because you know what you've been witnessing. You know that my slogan is every week, every day, and it won't stop. I'm proving it. Now, you will be able to do this skill set, but you will not in year one be able to go out every single day and find a setup like I'm doing. That's not realistic. Year 2.5, 3, yeah. So what is a goal for you? As a new student, what is reasonable, ICT? What should a new student hope to do by the end of year one? Number one, your first year is discovering who you are as a trader, because you're going to go through all kinds of seasons, not just 4, okay? Not spring, summer, fall, winter, okay? You're going to have some wild, crazy experiences in your own development, because there's going to be times where you think you figured it out. And then all of a sudden you're going to go into a tailspin and you're going to experience something else in the marketplace, which is a quarterly shift. And it's going to feel like everything you're doing, because you haven't aligned yourself with the market, what it's doing then, it's changed, but you haven't seen it change yet, or you're resisting it. And you're going to insist on taking a square peg and putting into a triangle, and it's not going to fit, and you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to think, oh no, these things are being manipulated now. They're changing the algorithm. I'm not changing shit. It's staying exactly the way it is. So you need not worry about it. But you're going to be trying to think about how you are feeling, and you're never going to be able to do this. And that's not the right way of doing it. You have to relax and allow yourself to observe, experience these changes in the marketplace. They're quarterly shifts. Don't hold your opinion or your bias too hard or firm, because they will be ripped from your hands. Whether you want to relinquish the grip or not, it will happen. So you want to hold things lightly. That way, when you see trouble arising in your trade, you don't go in and say, oh, I'm going to hold on and I'm going to move my stop away from where I had it initially, if you even used a stop, like I see people on live streams doing. That's a telltale sign that that person doesn't know what they're doing, because if they knew what they were doing, they would not be moving their stop once it was placed. They just submit to the fact that they're getting stopped out. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That mechanism is there for your protection. That's what you're paying the stop to do, its job. Limit how much I'm willing to take as a loss. Not, I'm in a trade, I'm holding on longer, it's not moving fast enough for me, so what am I going to do? I'm going to open my stop up more and take on more risk. How is that a good idea? See, you're going to have that experience. You're going to feel like doing that. I'm going to force you not to do that this year. Do you see anybody arguing against a funded trader who gets a withdrawal while trading their demo accounts? Nobody's arguing against that. But they're going to say that about what I'm teaching you to do, because they don't want you learning what you're learning here, because they're all trying to sell services. I'm selling you nothing. So this entire year, you're going to have all kinds of distractions thrown at you. And you have to make a choice. Do you pay attention to that stuff, or do you see what's working? Because I'm working. I'm working every single day. I'm putting it in front of you. I'm keeping you engaged. And there's no ad revenue on Twitter. Okay? I'm passionate about this, and I want this last year of my time with you all to be meaningful. And I want you to get the most out of it. But if you're going to be lackadaisical about it and have no targets, you have to have a target. You have to know what it is that you're aiming for. So what's reasonable? At the end of the first year, your goal should be able to target 6% per month. And some of you are like, what the fuck? 6%? Come on, ICT. Seriously? Like, I want to do better than that. Your first year, you're probably not going to. Because you're going to find these barriers that you don't even realize you have yet. You don't even know what you don't know about yourself yet until you get into that trading account, whether it be funded through a prop firm or your own money. You don't know what it feels like to have a trade on that you thought damn well it was going to do what you thought it was going to do, and you took your stop loss off because you don't want to be wrong. You don't want to be wrong. You're going to take your stop loss off or open it up, and then, which would have been a 1.5% loss, now became a 5% loss. And now you're thinking, oh, I broke the rule. I got 5%. Man, I don't want anybody to see this. I got to fix it. And you're going to go in and try to do what? Over leverage, over trade. And that never works out well. And even if you could get it back, that's not skill. That's gambling. I'm not teaching gamblers. Okay, you want to gamble? Go to the casino. You want to learn how to manage money, you're in the right place. You want to have multiple ways as a catalyst to get into a trade, you found the right place. You want to know what the market's likely to do next, you sure as hell are in the right place. That's what I'm proving to you daily on Twitter. I'm proving it to you that you can see these things coming, and you don't need a whole lot of movement to do well. Some of you have heard people say, you shouldn't have these goals because the market can't be timed and you don't know what the market's going to give you. Again, this is being spoken from people that have no fucking idea what they're doing. They're hit and miss. Their logic is lacking. They're looking at retail indicators, and they're only taking trades based on that mathematical acrobatics of what price has already done, calculating all this bullshit, spitting out some kind of indicator. And instead of looking at price and watching what the fuck that's doing, where's it going? Where's it come from? They're spending all their time and anxiety poring over indicators, thinking that that's going to be what? The crystal ball. That's the thing that helps them figure it out. That's their edge. That's their secret weapon. They won't believe that there's an algorithm. They won't believe that the market's literally being controlled to every smallest degree based on time, then price. For now, this has nothing to do with time. It's only what has happened already. And they wonder why they don't do well. But they're selling courses. They're selling services. They're selling signals. When their returns and their setups don't even yield or warrant anyone wanting to pay for it. The industry is rich with a lot of bullshit. And when you come to the conclusion that 99% of these fuckers have no idea what they're talking about, when you spend time with me and you see what really goes on and how price is really booked, it's shocking. Because you start thinking about, how much time did I waste doing all this other shit? Like, it's liberating. 6% per month is absolutely doable. 100% doable. But you can't expect to be able to do that in month 1 to month, say, 9. I don't think that's realistic. Because while you might do it 1 or 2 months, what will happen is you'll think that you got your groove, and then you really don't. Or you take the average trade setup that may or may not be a good setup, but you'll believe that it is, and you'll take the trade and you'll put it on. You'll put your stop loss on just like you're supposed to, and it'll stop you out. And you'll be annoyed by it. Like a rock in your shoe. Ugh, I can't stop walking, but this rock in my shoe is driving me nuts. That's what it's like when you have those types of little inconveniences. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. And when it's time and safe to do so, you stop, take your shoe off, let the rock fall out. When's that? On the weekend, when you can't do any more harm. There's logic to everything I'm telling you.